Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Stitcher. My name is Megan. You can find me on Instagram as the Seattle Stitcher, on Ravelry as Seattle Stitcher. Malachi, you can find right next to me in every video. And you can email me at theseattlestitcher@gmail.com. As I say, you are all very, very welcome here. Sorry about the background noise. As per usual, I have a 10-month-old baby, and he is chilling right next to me in his baby jail, which is the pack and play. But anyway, I'm on my ottoman. It's nice and comfy. I'm super cozy. And I decided I wanted to film a Flosstube. It's currently Monday, December 2nd. So if you're doing Vlogmas, I'll be praying for you, sister, because that's a lot of work. But I usually just hop in and start with the starts. But this time I actually have an FFO. Snaps to me, because an FFO on a holiday weekend, like, who am I? Who am I? Who is she? I don't know. So I finished this beautiful piece. I'm going to pop pictures on the screen because I actually already have it hung up on my wall, and I am only 5'2". I don't know how I look on the camera, but I am only 5'2". And I put it up on my gallery wall, and just to be able to get the nail in the wall where I needed it to, I had to use a chair with a stool on top of the chair because my husband wasn't home. He's the tall one. So yeah, that was, I wouldn't recommend, don't do that. Don't ever do that. It's a very bad idea. But I did get it on the wall. So since it's already up there, I'm not getting it down. Okay, you know what I mean? So I will pop pictures on the screen. This is Suffrage Act. It is a Little House Needleworks pattern, I want to say. Absolutely love stitching it. I did make a couple of changes. The only change I really did, though, was honestly just to swap out some of the colors. Historically speaking, the suffragettes, they chose the colors purple, gold, and white for the American suffragette movement. I do know that there are other colors, though. So if you are familiar with seeing like green, gold, and white, or green and white, or whatever, there are other colors. So just know that I chose the purple. I went ahead and made the bunting in the piece the purple, white, and gold because I thought that just made sense, historically speaking, because obviously I am an American. And so, yeah, I went ahead and made those changes. I used the purple called Rainy Days. That is a classic Colorworks. Loved it. Beautiful shade of purple. And I used the white, which was antique lace, and the gold that was called for in the pattern, which I think was sassy brass. I think that's what it was, but I'm not quite sure. But if you go back and you watch some of my old videos, I always try to pop pictures of like what I'm talking about on the screen. Like not on the screen, but on the cover photo of my video. So I'm sure that you'll be able to find it. It was an FO not that long ago. But I did go ahead and I ordered a custom frame. I got the frame from customframes.com. I really like the frame. I think it worked out great. It fits the piece perfectly. There was enough leeway in there for me to fit the piece in with the little piece of cardboard and all that. So yeah, it works great. It looks great. I love it. I wasn't honestly sure about the frame at first. I'm still not. It's not my fave thing that I've ever picked, but it's really hard for me to visualize what things are going to look like in a frame until it's already here. And so it's kind of hard to do a custom frame, but that piece, it's just under a 6x9, and I really wanted it to be quite fitted to the piece. So yeah, I think in the future, I need to be more, I don't know, aware of the size of a piece that it's going to end up being on the stitched piece. Because if I can get a standard frame by stitching it on a different count fabric, I think that it's worth it, even if it's like, oh, well, I'm going to have to stitch it 2/2, and that's going to use more floss, so it's going to cost more, you know, with the fact that the floss, you're going to use, you know, twice as much. Well, that actually could end up being significantly cheaper than having to buy custom frames, because that tiny little frame, I want to say it was almost $50. So I feel like that was decent. It's a really nice frame. I mean, it's like a brassy gold with an inner layer as well that's like a gray and gold. I don't know. So it's obviously got a few layers and a few different details to the frame that probably added to the cost. But yeah, $50 for a tiny little frame. I was like, oof, girly pop. I have frames on my wall that were that much that are like double the size. Wah, wah. So anyway, I digress. I am going to hop right into my starts. That was my FFO. I absolutely loved it. It was a great piece, great stitch, easy to stitch. Would have been really quick if I actually dedicated time to it. Ended up taking me quite some time because I obviously work on a ton of different projects. So anyway, that's my recap of it. Absolutely love it. Recommend the frame. I will link it down below. And let's move on. From there, I did decide Thanksgiving weekend I wanted to start a project. I didn't actually end up starting it Thanksgiving Day, but I ended up starting it the next day, Friday, which was perfectly fine. This is Stone Street Stitchworks, which is a mouthful, librarian's house. And I saw this on, I want to say it's like Sandy by the Seashore, Shelly by the Seashore. I can't remember her channel name. Okay, so if I can remember her channel name, I'm going to link it down below because I do watch her channel. If I ever comment just little hearts on your video, I try to comment when I watch things, but because of the kids, it doesn't always happen. So a lot of the time my comments are like pretty vague. They're just like, here's some hearts because, you know, I gotta show support. But I do watch her videos, and I digress. That was like a random tangent there. Sorry about it. This is a beautiful pattern. She had done a color conversion on hers, though, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much that I immediately went and bought this pattern. And then I went and I messaged the girls and asked for some help on a color conversion. This was a long time ago when I kitted this up. And I did do color and cotton because color and cotton is my favorite over-dyed threads. I will live, breathe, and stand by that wholeheartedly. They're just absolutely amazing. And I did do a conversion for this, like I said. And these are some of the colors that I picked. I did go ahead and remove some because after I got them in the mail, I decided, you know what, that wasn't the right vibe. And I changed my mind about a couple of things. So anyways, I went with Birdhouse for the brown, which is what I'm going to do for the outline of the windows and the roof line. So I'm not doing the brown house. And then I went ahead and I replaced the red with Begonia, which is the most gorgeous pink. It's just, it's perfection. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be using the pink in substitution for all of the red. So wherever you see red, there's actually going to be Begonia. And I went ahead and I'm supplementing the brown that is not the house. So the brown that's in the rest of the pattern with this color and cotton in pumpkin spice. This was a special edition, so I don't know if you can get this anymore, but hopefully you can because it is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, is it gorgeous? So this is pumpkin spice. Oh, how good is that orange? Fabulous. And I absolutely love it. This is very Marjorie of me. If you guys watch or know of Marjorie Maid, she loves pink and orange. And then I decided that I wanted all of my birds to be blackbirds, but also just not only the blackbirds, but the pots as well are the same color. And so I went ahead and just went with the basic, and this is rustic black, which is kind of a grayish black. It's slightly tonal, just like I said, just very slightly gray. And where I'm pulling these warm colors together to mix with this very cool tone black is the house itself. I'm going to go ahead and make that blue. So this was originally, I chose winter blue, I want to say it was called. I don't remember. It was a classic Colorworks, but it was a little bit too frosty for the fabric I was going with and the look I was going for. So the house itself, as well as some of the motifs, because I might mix this into some of the motifs, haven't decided yet, is going to be Dublin blue. Or sorry, Dublin Bay. This is a classic Colorworks. Really, really, really pretty color. Absolutely love it. Honestly, I probably should have just chose a DMC instead of buying Dublin Bay though, because I will say there's a very, very subtle variation to this, but not enough to pay the extra like $2 for it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. After seeing it stitched up, not worth it, girl. She's not worth it, but it's okay. It's still really pretty. I just pulled from Stash to do a green as well because I realized I do need something for the vine work. And if I do the border, not sure if I'm going to do it yet. I'm going to be quite honest. I think that the border looks a little 70s, 80s, whereas the pattern itself is giving vintage vibes. So I don't know. I like the border because I think it's cutesy, but the rest of the pattern isn't. So it's not like vibing together for me. But regardless, I needed a green for the border as well as for the vines in the big potted plants here. So I went ahead and went with this, which is Pine Needles, a classic Colorworks. I feel like this is in a lot of patterns, so it's probably in a lot of people's stash. And anyway, that ended up giving me this kind of really fun little color palette. I really like it. I'm happy with it. I think it's a good mix of warm tones here. I don't feel like the black looks too cool tone compared to the rest. And I went ahead and started this. Like I said, I didn't start it on Thursday, Thanksgiving, because it was just way too busy. but I did start it on Friday. And I went ahead and started it on 40 count crypt cloth, which is a lap and loops colorway. And it's honestly got to be like my new favorite neutral. I've got to say it. Oh, it's stunning. But anyways, here is where I got. How good is that? So I'm actually almost done with the house. I just have the blue fill in, and then I haven't decided on the color I'm going to do for the door. I honestly probably won't decide until the end, so I'm just going to leave it empty for now. I just have like a few, I think there's like maybe 5 rows for the house and 2 tiny chimneys, and that roof and house is donezo, which is what I'm planning to work on today. Amira has a dentist appointment later today, so I gotta take care of that. But besides that, I should be able to get this done. But yeah, look at this fabric. Tell me that's not gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It's just stunning. And I'm really, really liking the way that the blue is popping off the fabric. I'm doing 1/2 on the 40 count, and I just think it looks so good. It looks very neat. I don't know. Needle minder I got at StitchCon last year, 2023. Yeah, that's my start. And I'm just really loving it. I think it's fun. It's fun to do your own conversions and think up new things. And I don't know. I really like it. I have one other project here that I cannot talk about, but this is it's not really a round robin stitch because we're not like swapping projects, but it's a secret project that we're doing with the girls. And it's like a Galentine's Friends stitch. And it's been a really fun one. I'm stitching this on a 36 count. And it's gorgeous and fun, and I can't talk about it because it is 100% a secret. But essentially, the girls and I, we all decided that we are going to do like a little Valentine's Day secret little exchange for each other. And yeah, that's that one. From there, I pulled out. I guess this is actually the first thing that I was working on after I filmed last. And this is Crown and Thistle Quaker Seasons of Friendship. Absolutely love this piece. If you guys were watching last time, I had asked for some initials for winter babies. If you are interested in giving me your initials, go to my last video and leave them in the comments below, because if you commented on this video, I'll probably miss it. And I don't know if I'll be able to, keep up with adding a bunch from a different bunch of video numbers. So, because I keep notes in my phone and then I keep it on my Instagram as well in a memory thing. So anyway, it all works out. Trust me, it works. I do have everyone's initials. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. It's such a pretty one. This one is a piece that you can only order from Dying to Stitch, which is a cross-stitch shop in Virginia Beach. So if you're interested, you're going to want to look up Dying to Stitch, dyeing like your dyeing fabric. And it's Crown and Thistle Quaker Seasons of Friendship. This one, sorry, Malachi is being funny over here. This one I'm stitching on a 40 count Zweigart in just the plain old antique white. But my star of the show is Color and Cotton's Dracula. This is a beautiful colorway. It was, or no, it's not a special edition. I thought it was for some reason, but it's not. It's just, it hasn't been in stock for a little while. If it is in stock, I'll link it down below. If it's not, you know why it's not linked down below. I have used one whole floss card now, which I think is good. That means that I'm on track to be able to finish the piece with the correct amount of floss. So I have the right amount of skeins. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, absolutely love this. It's beautiful. The color is just so rich. And I don't know, the variegation on it is just so different. Random piece of thread. I'm going to save it though and put it in my bag because I don't want to waste any, but it's just gorgeous. I really wanted that to be the star of the show though, and so I decided to go with that really just plain old fabric. And I think I have a picture of where I was last, so I'll pop it on the screen here, but here I am now. Don't quite remember where I was because it was quite a while ago that I pulled this out. I worked on this motif, I know for sure. I finished out this motif, I know for sure, but I feel like I've done that last time I showed you guys, and then I completed this one. I think what I've done since is just added a bunch of initials. So you'll see a bunch more initials on here, maybe even your own. The list that I have for who I've added is on my phone, so I'm not even all sure who everyone is on this. There's so many people now, and oddly enough, a lot of people have like very similar or same initials. Like there's several MM initials, VM, ML, EB. I know EB is Elizabeth, and Marjorie is one of them. I know, there's quite a few that I obviously know. Melissa's on here. There's quite a few Flosstubers on here, but this is not just for Flosstubers. It's also for my viewers. So I have a few of your guys' initials on here as well. But yeah, it's been super fun. That's Malachi holding my hair. I do need to move on into working on another large motif so that I can work off of that to fit more initials in, because it's kind of hard to gauge, like, are the initials going to fit here or are they not? But it's been super fun. I think it looks really good with the like jam-packed full of initials. I prefer that look. I know it might not be for everyone because it's a lot happening, but I really, really like it. And it's so Christmassy. And I mean, look at how fun this floss is. I think the variegation is really pretty because it's very smooth. I just think it looks gorgeous. So yeah, really love this. It's a fabulous piece and it's been really fun to work on. And the next thing I worked on, so this is my full moon project. A few of the girls and I think Marjorie made, Cam the Stitcher, Bridge and the Museum Stitcher. All three of us are working on this pattern, Stitchy Box Samplers Sarah Moon 1791. This is a beautiful pattern, but the chart, it really is awful. It's so hard to read. And I mean, like, I have decent eyesight up close. My vision suffered after having my son, but it's definitely back to where it needs to be. And I still have such a hard time reading the chart on this. It's just, a lot of the symbols are very faint and a lot of them are very, very similar, and it's just very poorly charted. That's the honest truth of it. I'm not going to lie and be like, it's the best thing ever, you have to go get it. But I do think it's an absolutely gorgeous chart and it's a beautiful reproduction. And honestly, reproductions are probably some of my favorite cross stitch pieces. So it'll be worth it in the end for me. But anyway, I digress. I have the absolutely gorgeous Vicki Clayton silk conversion for this. I'm going to leave this linked in the description box. If you're interested, you can take a look at this because her silks are amazing. I mean, even if you're not interested in necessarily maybe stitching up this piece, I would say it's worth it to get this silk pack because look at all these colors. Tell me you cannot stitch up so many different pieces with this. You've got greens, you've got blues, browns, warm browns, cool browns, a cream, a yellow, these pinks, reds, hot pink. I mean, there's such a good mix of colors in here. I feel like it's worth it to pick up just this pack to have for stash. And her silks are very, very well priced. So if you're looking for a silk and you maybe don't want to spend like a Verissois kind of silk money, or, what is that other one? There's a few silk brands, okay, let's leave it at that are very, very, very expensive. And I'm not saying that they're not worth it because they're beautiful and it's amazing. I love working with dinky dyes myself, and I know that those are like $4 or $5 a skein. But her silks, amazing yardage, the softest, butteriest silks you will ever work with, and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. I use these floss drops that I get off of Amazon, and I find that these work great for these silks. They don't loosen up over time. Like every time I pull them out, they're nice and tight on there. So I'll link these floss drops down below as well. But yeah, check out Vicki Clayton. She has tons of different packs of silks as well if you're looking for a specific pattern. I'm stitching mine though 1/2 on a 40 count dirt track, which is a fox and rabbit fabric. I'll pop a picture on the screen of where I was last time I showed this to you guys, because what I have done is actually just restitch an entire motif. I know, so fun. So I had seen Bridget in the Museum Stitcher. We all talk on a pretty much daily basis, and she was talking to us about how she was going to eliminate some of the colors from the color pack, and I ended up realizing, because her and I are using the same color fabric, and we're also both using the Victoria Clayton silk pack, I was like, you know what? I need to do the same thing. I need to eliminate some of these colors just because for me, they're not going to pop how I want them to on the fabric. I do know that realistically, looking at the cover photo, which I'll pop on the screen, it's definitely one of those ones where there's a lot of colors, even in the cover photo, that just blend right into that fabric. So I think that originally, even when it was stitched, not every single color was popping in your face. But I really want all my colors to show up. Otherwise, it doesn't really feel like it's worth the effort to me, because it is a lot of my time. Stitching on 40 count, it's not anywhere as near as fast as I could be on an 18 count or a 16 count or a 14 count Aida. And I have plenty of projects on Aidas right now. So I did go ahead and I completely removed this motif here. I just knew that this blue was going to be such a good contrast. And I am really, really happy with it. I think it looks good on the fabric. This fabric is gorgeous. It's so pretty. This piece is just going to be massive though. It's huge. I know a lot of the girls have cut off the exterior like half Quakers that are on here. So like you'll see this whole border essentially looks like this was the original, and then she later on went and added more. And so I don't know, it just, because these are all half stitched as well. So it's just a very interesting piece. I like the way it looks in total. I love the rainbow effect of all the colors. But yeah, some of these really, really light bits, it's like this one here, which is where I'm at right now, it blended too much. So I went ahead and I swapped it out with the blue, which as you can see, the blue is not used very frequently in the piece. I think it's like down here, maybe a couple of other pieces, but it's not sticking out to me anywhere else. And I love that shade. So I went ahead and stitched the blue. I love it. I think it looks great. I know that it's kind of in a boring spot with all these browns, but I do think it looks really pretty. So yeah, I am enjoying this piece. I feel much better about it now that I have labeled all my floss drops as well. Previously, I didn't have them labeled, and I had the actual Vicki Clayton labels on them because you do want to keep those. So if you ever get a Vicki Clayton conversion, make sure you keep those stickers if you are going to be floss dropping them, because a lot of the time they're the same color name, but they have a different number. She has multiple shades of like one singular color, so just keep that in mind if you're ever doing this yourself. But essentially, I didn't have the key on the back. And that's what I needed. It made it so much easier to stitch. And that's that. That's pretty much all of my stitching that I've been able to get up to. I'm so sorry because a big portion of it went actually to my friends, my Valentine's Day stitch, to one of my girlfriends, but I can't show you guys that. I'm really excited to show it though when I can, because I did do a complete color conversion to a pattern, and I really like the pattern as well. Like I would restitch it again for myself because I love the pattern so much. But it's fun because all of us, like I'm pretty sure every single person every person in our group chat, I would stitch everything they're stitching currently pretty much. But anyways, that is it for my stitching. I will say I have not a lot of haul, but a little bit. So I'm going to get into that. So the first thing that I bought, which I talked to you guys about last time, was I'd snagged up a Riola's kit for $5 on eBay. And by the way, you guys would be so proud of me. I haven't bought anything off of eBay. You know, my like new hobby of lowballing people on eBay. She's been good. She's been behaved. But anyway, here's the kit. I really like it. I know it's kind of cheesy and like it's not for everyone, but I'm imagining this in like an ornate oval frame, maybe a bubble glass. If I can find one that's intact that used to have a photograph in there, that would be really sick. I'm seeing the vision. I don't know if you're seeing the vision, but I am. Okay. It's funny because Amy, I think she was joking, honestly, when she was like, you should put it in an old, like you can buy old, or they look like kind of like a ship's window, like the round ones. And I'm actually like, that's not a bad idea, but it's kind of more oval than round. But I could totally fill in the more blue in the background and make it more round. So I'm just saying, Amy, that's one of the thread gremlins, if you're curious. But Amy, that was not a bad idea. Okay, girl, it's not a bad idea. But anyways, I love it. I think it's really cool. It's really different. I love ships, like sailboat ships, pirate ships, whatever you want to call them. Obsessed. It's probably part of the Tudor history lover in me because whenever I think of ships, I obviously think of England. They were a huge fleet force in the 1500s, and they had some absolutely magnificent, beautiful ships. One of them that sunk being the Mary Rose. They still have, right? Or there's like a reproduction of it. I'm not really sure, but anyways, beautiful ships. I love this. I love the kit. The next thing that I purchased, I obviously last time I filmed, I showed you guys Blue Boy and Pinky, and I did want to get new fabric for those because I'm not going to stitch them on that stiff Aida in there. I'm sorry. It's too bad. It really is. It's that bad. So I did pick up some flax. This is one of my favorite Zweigart bases. The best. I just picked up 2 small cuts. I'm not sure what this is called. Is this a fat 1/8? I don't really know. Yeah, it's an 1/8 a yard of 32 count flax because I am going to stitch these 2/2. I don't know if I needed 2 cuts, but I went ahead and got them anyways. It's one of my favorite colors, like I said, of Zweigart, so I don't mind having the extra in stash. And then that was just such a cheap order. I was like, well, let me just throw something else in. I ended up getting a 40 count fat quarter of dwarf. This is a fox and rabbit fabric. Or sorry, this is Picture This Plus. I don't know how I got those so confused. It's absolutely stunning. It's so pretty. Beautiful, beautiful modeling on it. Like I said, this is dwarf. There's a good representation of the color. So this, the bright denim blue, like a true denim blue, is spot on. It's so pretty. If you were looking for something to stitch white on, which was exactly what I was looking for, go get some of this. Okay, girl, it's good. So I have this Mo's Sale silk in my like my stash, and I've been holding on to it to stitch a Quaker of some sort. And I knew that I wanted to make it a monochromatic piece. You guys know I'm obsessed with a monochromatic Quaker. It's one of my favorite things. I love the way they look. I love it. I can never get sick of them. It's kind of like samplers. Like I love them. But I have several, like I have yards of blue linen in my stash. And sadly, none of them were the right shade of blue. By that, they were just a little bit too light to stitch white on. And so I needed something darker. And this is the Mo's Sale silk. Mo's Sale, she has an Etsy shop, but she used to just be on Facebook. When she was just on Facebook, that's when I ordered this. I had ordered like a few skeins, and she just sent me all that she had, which was so, so kind of her. So I'm going to link her Etsy shop down below. Take a look. I really like the silk. I did do a little test patch, and I am happy with it. Definitely need to perfect my white stitches, but we'll get there. That's why I actually chose a 40 count Picture This Plus. Picture This Plus is a pretty tight weave, and so I knew that 1/2 on 40 count was going to look really neat because it is so tight, and that's what I wanted for this silvery white. I don't remember the color name, but since she really only dyes in like single batches, I think she does recreate some of her colors, but I don't know how often. So anyways, I don't know if this is a color you could ever get again, but it is beautiful. It's kind of a silvery white, but look at that. Oh, isn't that going to be gorgeous? That's a good, perfect. That's exactly the color. So I did look through my stash of Quakers, and obviously I have quite a few that I have not started yet, but for some reason this I feel like needs something special, and what I have wasn't working. So I don't know. I don't know what Quaker this will be. If you have any recommendations for monochromatic Quaker pieces, let me know. Oh, you know what? I haven't taken a look at Modern Folk Embroidery. That's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to look at some Modern Folk Embroidery patterns. It's definitely not a start anywhere near in my future, but I do love this mix. I think it's just gorgeous. So yeah, really excited about getting that in stash and putting that away as well so I can look at it in my little stashy stash. The next thing that I purchased was yarn, so it doesn't really have to do with cross stitch, but it is part of my haul. And then I'll move on into knitting and life stuff and whatnot. So I'm in a group chat with the girls, you know, and we always talk about this, but Bridget actually sent this Pearl Soho pattern, which is like a hood scarf situation, in the group chat, and was like, oh my gosh, look at this. And I was like, me and Maddie over at Kitty Stitch, I'll link her channel down below. We were both so obsessed that we went and bought yarn, lickety splickety. And I ended up picking out 2 different colors. So first color I picked out was this bright Christmas red. I love red. I wear a lot of black and white and gray. So red is a good contrast color for me. And this is the Knit Picks Peruvian Highland Wool of the Andes in the sport weight. And the colorway is just red. Loved it. So I got 6 skeins of the red, and then I really couldn't decide if I wanted a red or a blue because I've been really into wearing blues lately as well, and I've been picking up a lot more blue sweaters and like little pullovers and stuff. But this blue is not quite what I had wanted, so I'm happy I got it, but I'm going to actually knit either my daughter's sweater or Malachi's sweater because I got 6 skeins of this color, which is Woodland Heather. It's really, really pretty, but as you can see, it's just a little bit bright for me. It's kind of a baby turquoise because it's not quite turquoise. It's more of a soft baby color, but yeah, the heathering makes it a little bit softer. I like the color, but it's not quite going to go with the look that I was going for. I think it's a little bit too youthful for me even. And so I'm going to knit something for Amira or Malachi. And either, because I got 6 skeins, so either I can knit him a matching sweater and pants, or I can knit my daughter a sweater. So yeah, really excited about that. From there, I'm going to move into my knitting whips. And my first knitting whip is from the haul that I just showed you, the red Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the sport weight. 6 skeins of it is what I purchased, like I just said, but just in case someone skips through that portion and they're just watching this portion. And I'm knitting on the Pearl Soho it's like a hooded scarf situation. I'll pop a picture of the pattern on the screen. And I'm using the called for US 4 knitting needles. And here is my progress. I absolutely love this. I know it looks like there's a line here that is not from it being joined with a different ball of yarn. That's because I wet blocked the bottom half. I wanted to see what my stitches looked like after being blocked to see if I wanted to continue working on this pattern or not. I just wasn't sure if the ribbed stitching looked neat enough. I like for my knitted garments that even though they're hand knit, I like them to look very nice and almost like a store-bought look. I know they don't have to be perfect. Like there was a slub in here that I cut out and it still looks a little messy. You can see right there. But at the end of the day, that's going to be at the very bottom of a pretty long scarf. So I'm not too worried about it. But I did want to block it and make sure that it still gave me the effect that I was looking for. A nice, neat, classy look. And I do really like it. This was after just like dunking it in water, laying it out. So it wasn't like I soaked it for a long period of time or anything. And I definitely think that once I do, it'll look even better. But yeah, just a nice, stretchy 2x2 rib. Super simple pattern. It is a free pattern, so definitely check out Purl Soho. They have a ton of free patterns. But the next thing that I've been working on is a snowsuit for Malachi. I already knit him one of these. I'll pop a picture on the screen of the one that he already has. But he grew so fast that he is now in 12-month-old clothes, and he's been in 12-month clothes since he was 9 months old. He's pretty much maxing out the 12-month stuff. He's growing so fast. And it hasn't even snowed here yet. It's definitely been cold enough for him to wear the other one. Like there were a few days where it was just really chilly that we were at football games for Amira's cheerleading. And so he was able to get a good use out of that one. I love it. I'm going to put it in a little memory box that I'm going to keep just keepsakes for him in. But essentially I decided I wanted to go ahead and cast on another one. And last time you guys saw this, I was at like right under the underarm. And I knit the entire lower body and the legs. This is the exact length it needs to be. When I block it, I probably will pull it a little bit as well, just to make sure that he gets a little bit extra length. Here, let me hold it back. But yeah, it's adorable. I did make a change just because I noticed from the last one that the button band, I felt like the holes were a little bit too big. So I tried my best to make them a little bit smaller and also just to make them closer together. So they're quite close together now. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see. But I really love it. It's going to be so cute. It usually snows like January, February time here in Washington. So yeah, love it. I literally just have the arms. And the arms are really easy because there is none of the puff stitch, none of the popcorn stitch. I will link this pattern down below. I got it from an Etsy shop called Grandma Built. And I think it's just called Top Down Onesie. So freaking cute. This textured pattern is everything. I love it so much. I love the blue too. This was just some stash yarn. I think I bought it like around the time that I finished the other one, but I don't remember if this was Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I genuinely don't know. I do know it's a wool acrylic blend, but I just don't have any of the ball bands. So anyways, really love this. It's a nice, just dusty blue. Just a good little onesie. And I think that'll be a cute little keepsake as well for him. Amira has quite a lot of keepsake sweaters that I knit her when she was little. So a lot of them, though, are just completely falling apart. Like, she wore them a lot, and I think that's really fun and awesome. But Malachi's so far have been really gently used, and so it's kind of fun to keep. And then before I move into life stuff and what I did over the holiday weekend and all that fun stuff, I want to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this portion of the video. And this time around, I actually have been doing something really fun. So traditionally, every single Christmas season, Daniel and I, since 2015, the first year that we met, have been making gingerbread houses. And I just knew that because Skillshare is such a huge online learning community that they would definitely have something that had to do with baking and making and decorating gingerbread houses. And sure enough, I was able to find this amazing creator. I'll pop a picture on the screen of the class. And she actually shows how to bake the gingerbread itself as well. But we've always bought ours since the very beginning of our times together, which is 9 years, which is 9 gingerbreads. But let me tell you, I've not gotten any better. Okay, my gingerbread skills have not gotten better. And the biggest thing for me is like getting the frosting to harden quick enough to build the house itself. And so anyways, this creator, she was amazing at teaching her class. I thought that it was just such an interesting course to take. And I think it's going to help up my gingerbread making game. I mean, I'm not even trying to make it from scratch. I want to use it just for the decorating side of it. But she shows you how to bake the gingerbread house, how to build the gingerbread house, how to decorate the gingerbread house, and just it was so much fun. It was a really, really enjoyable class. And yeah, that's one of the courses that I've been taking recently. Let me know if any of you guys have been taking any courses and what you've been taking. I know a couple of you guys have left me comments saying what you've been up to on Skillshare, but I'm always interested to see because as you know, the first 500 people to click the link in my description will receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today, guys. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives like us, and they have thousands of classes led by industry experts from knitting to making gingerbread houses to organization. So much is out there on Skillshare. So shout out to them and thank you so very much for sponsoring my video again. The next thing, like I said, though, is that I really want to talk to you guys about life stuff. So I'm going to hold Malachi while I'm talking. So life stuff, in the States here, it was Thanksgiving, and I do have usually just a good Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and it was so much fun. It was really fun with both the kids because we're a pretty small family, and my kids are the only children on my side, and so there's no other little cousins to play with or anything like it at the holidays, but it was really fun because typically it's just my daughter Amira running around, and it was just so fun listening to them. Like the laughter and the joy that children bring during the holiday season is just incomparable. It's so much fun, and it was crazy. I mean, my grandma was sitting there, and she's out of the hospital and back home now, and my step-grandpa Larry, he's back home now as well, and that is such a big blessing, and it was awesome just seeing everyone together, and I know it's crazy, but it was so loud because the kids, he was like running around, crawling around, and Amira was laughing and chasing him and playing, and my grandma and I were sitting there, and my grandma, she's like, I forgot what it was like. I forgot what it was like to sit in like a loud space. And it was just awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. I did smoke my turkey, guys. It turned out okay. If anyone has any like tips, let me know. So my biggest issue was I couldn't get my grill because I have a charcoal grill, and I use the charcoal to smoke my turkey with some hickory, and it gave it a good smoky flavor. It got to temp, but the skin didn't get really crispy. Also, it turned out a little bit salty. Of course, it's a brine. You know, it's a brine turkey, so it's a little salty in general, but I think my issue was I added too much salt to the brine. So next time I'm going to do a little bit less salt, and I think I'm going to try to get my temp up a little bit hotter next time. Maybe I need 2 chimneys worth of charcoal. I really don't know. But that was really fun. It was just a good experience. I really enjoyed it. My mother-in-law stopped by like last week sometime, just randomly, after the Seahawks game last weekend, and that was really fun. She just swung by to see the kids. My father-in-law, he stopped by this weekend, so he was just here yesterday, and he brought over Amira's cousin Kehlani, which is from Daniel's side of the family, and so that was really nice. I know she's a bit older than Amira, but Amira really, really loves to see her, and yeah, it was a great time. It's been nice to see so much family, and you know, get to enjoy the kids growing up around family is something special. So that's been really fun. Hopefully I have a bunch of pictures that I popped on the screen of our holiday escapades, and we're just ramped up for Christmas now. I've already got my Christmas decorations up. They've been up honestly for a long time. I just didn't want to film in front of the Christmas tree because I didn't want to have the Christmas stuff before Thanksgiving. I know that can be off-putting for some people, but yeah, my husband, pretty much as soon as I took down the Halloween decorations, he was like, put the Christmas stuff up. He was ready. So I did. Easy to convince me. You don't have to tell me twice. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Christmas to be Malachi's first Christmas. I honestly think he's going to be walking pretty soon. He crawls on his own. He's been, you know, babbling and talking as much as he possibly can any moment he gets. He fights sleep really hard, which is definitely the hardest for me because, you know, I'm up all night, and then I also watch him on my days off, and, you know, it's hard. He's 10 months old, and he's crazy. But him and Amira together are awesome. They're so much fun. Amira had no winter cheer. They ended up never finding a cheer coach, and so she doesn't have winter cheer, which she's super bummed about, but that's okay. Gives her some extra free time after school. She's been having a lot of fun making friends in our little cul-de-sac here, and she just goes outside, rides bike. She's so smart. She has a watch now, so like she goes outside, and we just tell her what time she needs to be home, and she checks her little watch, and it's so fun. She's been doing really good at school. She actually got a little postcard in the mail from her teacher just to thank her for how good she's been doing with her reading and such. And I'm just so proud of her. She's so smart and just an awesome kid, and we're so blessed. We really are. So honestly, it's been crazy busy. I don't feel like I've gotten that much stitching done. My joints have still been really bothering me, but I mean, hopefully, knock on wood, touch wood, whatever the saying, right? My joints have been good for the past couple days. So just a little bit of soreness. I definitely have to take it easy, but I've been okay. And that is a huge, huge, huge thing for me because I have been really hurting and it's been really, really hard. Like it's depressing to not be able to do the one hobby that you have, especially after having a baby, you know, going through postpartum and then also like hurting, being in pain is really hard. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better this week and I'm hoping that, you know, God willing, my joints continue to get better. My eyesight seems like it's completely rejuvenated and fine now. So Malachi's got my glasses and my lipstick. Because things that are not toys are more fun than actual toys, of course. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for life stuff. Like I said, I got that piece hung up on my gallery wall. So my little wall, I feel like is complete. I'm happy with it. Had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving as well. And if you didn't, then I, you know, hope that you make the best of what situation you do have. And yeah. I think that is everything for me today, though, guys. So I hope you have a wonderful next couple of weeks, and I will catch you next time. He just bonked himself in the head. Say, you want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Give me my glasses. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Malachi's like half between sleep and not sleeping. Kind of just rolling around in his pack and play next to me. I don't know if you guys can hear him because the mic does cut out a lot of the sound. So like, thank the Lord because it's a lot. Everyone's always like, oh, it doesn't bother me, the sound of the baby. But me watching it back, I get such bad anxiety listening to him like whining in the background. It gives me anxiety. Because, you know, your like instincts kick in that you need to like comfort your baby, but he's not actually whining in real life. I'm just watching back the editing. Like it looks. Malachi, Luna, Lilo. Hopefully my chair's not too squeaky this whole time. I think it is. I don't even know why it's squeaky. Oh, my son. He's so funny. Digress. All that to say, I need to stop saying that. Crypt cloth? Roll. I don't remember. And she's a mash. Together, girl. Can you not count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Had to put my glasses on because I put